Techies, welcome back to ElfinCode channel. If you're new to this channel, please do subscribe this channel and also hit the like button. If you really like the video, hit the notification button for any kind of update. So today we will be discussing about the facade design pattern. This is one of the structural design pattern in Python, and we will be dividing this entire video into two part. One would be theory part and the other one would be the practical part. So let us start with the theory part. So facade design pattern. So it says that uh, it provides the client a very simplistic interface to coordinate with each other. So it's like there's a client, there's a simplest interface. The client is interacting with the simplest interface, and behind the interface there would be a set of lot of complex subsystem. So the client is not worrying for all those complex subsystem which is running behind the simplest interface. Okay, so the facade is nothing but that kind of pattern where you have a interface which is a quite simple to use interface. Client is here, client is trying to interact with that simplest interface, and then interface is taking care of running all those complex subsystem which are behind that simplex interface. Okay, so this is what the facade design pattern is. So here, if you look at the second point, client interact with a simplified interface, okay, without worrying what is happening at the internally, I mean what is happening internally behind the facade or interface, the simplest interface. So if you take an example of washing machine, so it's like, as a client, what exactly you are trying to do, you are starting the washing machine. Okay, behind that start interface there are a lot of other complex subsystem which runs, like soaking the soaking the cloth in the water, then rinsing the cloth, washing the cloth, and all those set of complex system which are present behind the start button. But as a client, I'm not worrying for all those different subsystem. I am interacting with a kind of simplified interface which is a start interface. Okay, so the facade system plays like this only. Okay, now let us see the property of the facade design pattern. It again, it says the simplified interface. So why it is simplified interface? Because we don't want to expose all those set of complex subsystem which runs behind the simplified interface. So let the client interact with the simplified interface, and let the simplified interface take care of how to deal and how to run all those subsystem in which order. Okay, so it is a kind of simplified interface which is being presented to the client. Okay, the second point, it says that abstraction of the complexity. So all those complex subsystem which are present to accomplish a particular work are being abstracted from the user. So user is not aware of how the cloths are cleaning. Okay, he is just bothered of going and starting the start button. Rest all thing the start interface is taking care of. So there's a level of abstraction which are being incorporated in the facade design pattern, which makes it simplified to use by the client. Okay, the third property, it says that improve maintainability. Now see, you have various complex subsystem. These complex subsystem or kind of system is divided into multiple subsystems, so it is easy to maintain. So in case if you want to add one more subsystem under the simplified interface, then you can simply go and add it. Similarly, if you want to do some kind of additional processing inside the one of the subsystem, you can go and do it without disturbing all other subsystem. So that this actually help in improving the maintainability. Okay, now the fourth property is centralized control. Now what happens, since you are interacting with the interface, which is a simplified interface, interface will be having a role of, giving a or kind of maintaining a control mechanism, which means that how he want to execute all the subsystem which are present under the simplified interface. So what will be the flow? Will the first subsystem will run as a first, or will the second or third subsystem will run in which sequence? Okay, so all those sequencing, and if you want to do some certain additional check before running all this subsystem, so that can also be controlled by the centralized control, which is nothing but a first interface with which the client is interacting. Okay, so this is how the centralized control system work in facade design pattern. And then the last property is decoupling. So what decoupling is saying that any changes to the subsystem, okay, won't invite any changes to the client, the way he is interacting with the entire system. So let's suppose if there is a change in the behavior of soaking or rinsing of the cloth, okay, so the client, the user who is dealing with the start button, he don't need to worry or bother about the change in the mechanism. He is bothered about his cloth to be cleaned when he is pressing the start button. So this is what the decoupling of the logic from the client. Okay, so this is what the property is. Okay, now we will be going over the quiz.
Elfin quiz of the day. The facade pattern shield clients from subsystem classes and reduces the number of objects that the client deals with. Is it true or is it false?
Okay, so let us now move to the practical part of the system. Okay. Okay. Now here, for the practical part, I have taken an example of the robot which is cleaning the floor. Okay. Now this is my floor cleaning robot. Mm, okay. Yeah. So this is my floor cleaning robot. Okay. Now this floor cleaning robot also have certain kind of, subsystem in it, because it need to first vacuum clean the floor. It also need to wet mop the floor, and then at the end it need to spray the fragrance on the floor. Okay. So these are the three different complex subtasks which a robot need to perform to clean the floor. Okay, so what we have done, so this is my kind of facade, floor cleaning robot facade with which client is interacting. Okay, without worrying of what is there underlying the robot. Okay, so this robot is nothing but an interface facade, okay, to the client, and under the facade it is I mean, if you look at this look at this constructor, you will see that it has created three different object. One is vacuum clean object, the second one is wet mop object, and third one is fragrance spray object. Okay, so these are the three object it has created. Okay, now these three object has certain class implementation. So if you see here, it has implementation, the vacuum clean class has an implementation called as vacuum cleaning. Okay, similarly wet mop clean class has a implementation of mopping. Similarly, the fragrance spray has a implementation of spray fragrance. Okay, so now after creating the object, the movement client will call the start button or the start floor cleaning method. Okay, what will happen, it will execute all the method which are present in all this subsystem. Okay, so here it is like vacuum cleaning. So vacuum cleaning object is calling the vacuum cleaning. Once this is done, then it will call the mop object will call the wet mopping, and then finally the fragrance spray object will call the spray fragrance method. Okay, so this is how it will clean the floor. Okay, so if you see this main method. So what we have done, we are a client, we are interacting with this robot facade, and then we are just pressing the start button. Okay, robot object, press the start floor cleaning button, and then start floor cleaning button will sequentially run these three subsystem, and then finally the floor will be cleaned. Okay, so if I just run this, so it says that vacuum cleaning of the floor in progress, then wet mopping of the floor is in progress, and then perfume spray on the floor in progress, and then finally the floor is clean. Floor cleaning process is finished. So this is how the facade system work. Okay. So if you have any doubt, just add your doubt to the comment section, and I'll just check all those doubts, and maybe I'll reply there itself, or I'll create a kind of new video where I can solve all your doubt regarding this facade design pattern. And thanks a lot. And those who have yet not subscribed ElfinCode channel, please do subscribe for more updates. Thank you.